And then I'd have... See, I set you right in front of my... Oof. So you'd have to turn the sound off on your phone.
How's that? Nope.
Check. Maybe it's me. It is me. Check. I still hear a little reverb, but it's not bad.
I don't hear any. I guess
You don't hear any reverb?
I've got a little bit of an echo.
Maybe if I just do this, move this mic over here.
I can connect my AirPods.
So actually, kind of makes it better for me because I tend to look at myself when we talk on the show, and I can put you like right in front of my camera.
Well,
You know,
we can give it a shot, see how it looks. I'll leave it up.
and then my podcast looks a lot better because I'm looking at the camera. Except for that, what am I getting echo from?
I don't know. My Instagram wouldn't let me turn mine all the way down, so I had to connect. I just connected headphones to my phone.
Check.
I have a...
Oh, it's gone. Well, no, it's still there. And they're coming through my headphones, so I don't know.
Here, I'll turn mine down.
Well, I don't know. It shouldn't be.
Just in case.
Check. I don't know. Hey, good morning, Jonathan.
Oh, the ever faithful Jonathan Germany. I saw Rosa Delmavia. I don't know her. I saw Cajun Joy. That's a lady who goes to church here. Connie Plunkett. Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, I mean, now we're like hardcore.
It's kind of hard to do that without singing it Jack Black style.
That's right. Well, you're not hardcore. Unless you live hardcore.
Oh, what a movie, man.
What a disappointment to think that that's how Jack Black's music was like, and then you pay for and download all of his other music, and you're like, oh, this is filthy.
I know.
Like, what a bummer.
Oh, here we go. I forget how much of this social media I do on my phone. It is so different on a desktop.
Oh, trying to pull up Instagram? Instagram is like
yeah.
impossible on a desktop.
It is impossible on a desktop. It's unreal.
Bryce being hardcore.
Yeah, right.
Bryce is also very faithful. He's always here too.
I do. Always see Bryce Ballard.
Man, I wish I could figure out. So you don't get an echo at all when you talk?
I do not hear an echo.
I just get an echo when I talk. So do you think it's my phone picking up my microphone?
Are you getting it in your headphones or are you getting it on Instagram?
I'm getting it through my headphones. It would be crazy, but it's not. I don't know. I get it through my headphones.
Try now. Are you still getting it?
Check.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll pick up. I don't have my good headphones on, and they're not noise canceling. So sometimes it'll come through there and catch up in the mic. But I have it turned down about as low as I can, where I can still hear you. So.
Huh. It's just me that hears the echo then. Oof. Maybe if I... No. It's still...
All right. You ready to roll?
Check.
Till we're all growing a beard. A man's face should never be bare. We just want some facial hair. We're anticipating, yeah, everyone's waiting for a beard.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Behind the Beards, and here on Behind the Beards, we take a look behind the scenes and try to reveal the things that you need to know about your ministers and your ministry leaders. I am Josh Fowler, a preaching minister in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and joining me is my always faithful brother, Aaron Partlow.
I think my headset just died, so that was perfect timing for that to happen. But hey, I'm not getting any echo now that my headset is dead. So that's awkward, and that's great. Really good timing on that.
Everything's going haywire.
This is where this is really going really good.
Hey, are we rookies at this? All
right.
What's going on?
Should we just restart the beginning?
Maybe so.
You were all one in a beard.
I can splice that in later. No, so we were down in Houma yesterday for the first round of the state bowling tournament, and Dylan, my youngest, is on the high school bowling team, and they were up there. They did good, man. They performed really well in the first round. They actually played really well in the second round. Our number one bowler bowled a 251 yesterday.
Whoa.
And lost.
Whoa.
Their number two bowler bowled a 277, which he had strikes until the 10th frame, and he went 8 spare strike.
Yikes.
And that was his only flaw in the 10th frame.
Man.
At the Central, they were a better all-around bowling team, but they bowled out of their minds yesterday. So
that's crazy.
That was cool. We got to go in there, and that was Dylan's first experience with postseason bowling. You know, this is kind of a new world for us. Learned a lot. But so now then that you're all set and going,
I'm good. I'm ready.
How are you
ready
this morning?
I'm good. If you guys are joining us on Instagram Live, we're excited that you're here. This is just a test round for us. There's a lot of weird things happening while we're trying to test during a live show, which is probably not the best, but that's how we roll. If you're joining us anywhere else, you can see that I got the cool frosty green screen today, and that is a shout out to my in-laws and to my good friends in Kansas that got like 2 inches of snow last night. Like, what?
Do you miss snow?
I do. I love snow. I love cold weather. I love everything about it. So yeah, I do miss it. I really miss my in-laws hot tub. That's what I really miss. But but yeah, I do. I miss the snow. I love it. And so anyway, this is for them. So if you guys are watching from Kansas or you got snow last night, I'm here suffering as well in 60-degree weather.
That's right. Oh man, there's something really unique about sitting in a hot tub in the middle of a snowstorm, isn't there?
Oh, it's amazing. It's such a great feeling.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about being at a resort or somewhere where, or not a resort, but like a ski place where you have snow on the ground and you can sit there in the snow, but also sitting in a hot tub. It's kind of a cool little. You're cold up top, and hot under the water.
Yeah, it's nice. I love it. I love I really like the frozen hair feeling.
The frozen
and you
hair feeling. That's
and
right.
you feel your hair, and it's like, I don't know. It's great. So we lived with my in-laws for a couple weeks before we moved down here, and I think I was in the hot tub every single day, and it was during all that ice and snow, so it was good.
Well, you guys are back there at Pine Tree. You have 2 services in the morning, right?
We are. We have 2 services.
And do y'all have Wednesday night class?
We just started last Wednesday. Was our first night of Wednesday night classes, but they look a lot different. So normally we had a stereotypical Wednesday night, like except for theirs go from 6:15 to 7 or 6:30 to 7:15. And you had adult classes and children's classes and teen classes, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're doing it different. The teenagers on Wednesday nights, the teenagers are all coming together. We're hanging out and doing like a uplift kind of night. We sing songs, we worship God, we have a small devotional, and then we go and play some hoops in the back pavilion. We offer a family style worship class, which is kind of cool. So families, you don't come and drop your kids off and go to class. You go to class with your kids, and it's led by a family, mom, dad, and kids up there leading together. Ooh, hey, that reverb is completely gone. I don't know what you did. But that was awesome because, it's back. Now I hear myself.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm fixing it.
So we do that family style class, which my wife and I talk about it. Like, we're super jealous and envious. Like, we love getting to be with the teens and doing our worship because that's like my job and what we do. However, this family style worship looks super cool and really fun. And they get to do like a devotional with your kids and you kind of like lead it and do it. So it's a really cool feeling. And then we also use our Wednesday nights as a time for your connect group to be able to connect and be there at the building. So if you're in a small group, a connect group is what we choose to call them, then you can meet at that time as well. So it's not like a typical Wednesday night for us. And so that's kind of a cool feeling. That's kind of a cool thing for us to do. And that's different. Like, I think a lot of people are feeling the pinch to find teachers. Like, people want, like, hey, we need to have, double nursery attendance. We need to have everything needs to open back up, but the volunteers aren't there for it. So anyway, so we are doing the best we can with what we got.
Yeah, we when they went back, I think they got to the point where it was just like, you know what, phasing in, I don't know. We can phase in some things, but if we're going to be back in, let's be all back in. And so we were just Sunday morning for a little while.
Jump!
But pretty quickly we had Sunday evenings back and Wednesday night as well. So, and it's been, there's been some pros and cons to that. We've kind of had to learn some things along on the fly, I guess. Some things that work, some things that don't work. And you don't have a chance to really kind of test some of those things. But it's been really good. I didn't realize how much I missed that midweek Bible class. I mean, how much of a real recharge. And man, that is so hard. Teaching is hard on Zoom and electronically anyway.
Teaching is bad on Zoom. Like, it's not hard. It's not fun. Like, let's be honest. If you guys didn't know, I don't know. I can't. Could my headset down? I don't know if you introduced the show at all, but we have this idea of. I got a phone call right in the middle of this. It's great. This idea of, like, what would you like to see get back to normal? And I should have put those in quotes because we hate that word, normal. And so, like, what are some of the bad changes? What were some of the things during the pandemic that, like, they were great, but now we don't love them? Like, it's time to get rid of them. And I think, like, Zoom classes is one of those. Like, it was really great, and it would be okay to do it every once in a while, like every 3 months once. But man, it was a slug. It wasn't fun for me as a teacher, and I know it wasn't fun for the kids. I didn't know how to, like, make it different than school. Like, and that's a big part of my ministry is I try to, like, make it not like school because they spend all day at school. And no one wants to go to night school.
Yeah, I am ready for, like, I don't mind having things online. I think the online aspect of, worship has been really, really positive. I think to a large degree for the most part, we've seen some things really come out of that have been really beneficial, and I see real value in those moving forward. But the electronic Bible class is absolutely horrendous.
Oh, it's terrible.
I just trying to connect with people, especially when most of them don't want to. I mean, if you're at home, there's all kinds of things going on. You don't really want to have the video on. And I mean, it's hard enough looking at people through a computer screen. But now I'm just looking at a screen full of names. Man, it makes it really, really, really challenging. So,
Right.
We'll keep our live streaming going. And right now on Wednesday nights, I'm teaching a live class, but I'm also on Zoom for a few people that are still not back. And it is like I'm ready for Zoom to be gone. I know there's still going to be a place for it, and there's still going to be a need for it. But anytime anyone says, "Hey, we're meeting on Zoom," I'm like, "Ugh." Like, no.
Right.
I wish I would have bought stock in Zoom.
Right. Yeah.
However, I'm ready for that word to not be a part of our vocabulary anymore.
Whenever Zoom is mentioned, I am thankful to have 2 monitors. So that you've got Zoom and that like I have a hotkey now to mute my mic so that I can be like, yeah. And doing a whole bunch of other work.
Do you have any like funny stories from Zoom or class or anything that kind of came up?
Not really funny. There was this really funny moment when I had one teen who was definitely playing Fortnite during class, and he was like, and the reason I could tell was because there was too much eye contact. He had moved his camera right in front of the TV. He had his like, here's my controller. He had his controller, and he was like, and I was like, Isaac, are you winning or losing? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, you are really close to the camera, and I can kind of see your controller. So that was like kind of really funny. I had one kid who not kid. I hate saying that was a bad way to say it. I had one teen who like they turned off their camera, but not their microphone. And all of a sudden we heard a whoosh, and I was like, so I sent an email out to the parents and I said, hey, if you need to use the restroom in class, please leave us not in the room. Like, you don't need to like take us with you.
The few minutes you will be okay having missed those.
Yeah.
We had, of course, when everything is new, you don't even know. And if you haven't really been on the other side of it, some people's homes are just noisy.
Oh yeah.
And some people are just noisy, just by nature. And, before you kind of figured out that you could mute all and let people kind of unmute themselves, people would join mic enabled, like wham, bam.
Oh yeah, doing dishes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? And so you mute there. I had one who I guess they thought they were muting themselves because I kept muting them, and they would unmute, and I would mute them, and they would unmute, and it was just chaos in the background, and then there's always you have the stirrer, right? One of our ladies loves tea.
Mm-hmm.
And so she would be stirring her tea. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Just creating a sick beat during class.
But didn't have any of those eventful occurrences, that go viral or anything like that.
Yeah, thankful for that.
There's been some really good things that have come about though. Anything else that you just like don't ever want to see again? Any other word you don't ever want to hear?
Word I never want to hear. I'm really like, okay, so like something that I'm tired of is I'm really tired of masks. Like I'm really tired of masks. I feel like, how like you always have teenagers or you always have people who sit on like the back pew.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have some kids who only wear a mask when they come to Bible class. so that like they can disengage even more. You know, so like I'm tired of that. You know, I understand and I want the safety of masks and everything like that. So this is not like I'm not an anti-mask.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not an anti-masker. I'm just saying when it is 100% safe to kind of be without masks, I'm ready. I'm ready for it because I'm over them.
I'm ready to see people's faces, right?
Yeah, try starting a new job at a way larger church and your facial recognition skills are garbage because you're basing it off of what mask they had on and their eyes. And people are like, "Oh yeah, you met Steve last week.
Yeah.
He has the black beard."
What color was his mask?
Yeah, what color was his mask?
Well, you know, the funny thing about masks is they say, and they've done some studies that children who have either some kind of social anxiety have thrived
Oh, really?
in public settings with this because the mask gives them
Security
kind of a
blanket.
shield and security to hide behind.
Interesting.
So that's been really interesting. But I'm ready to see people's faces. I don't ever want to hear the word social distancing again.
Right.
I didn't really think I would.
I did like it at church camp. It really cut down on the boyfriend girlfriend scenarios.
Yeah, right. But you know, I hate the hesitancy. Is like, are we going like a knuckles here?
Yeah.
Are we going handshake? Are we going full on the back and forth? You know, and just not being able to hug some of those people that that there's just that, especially in church, right? There's this sense of family. Obviously, I'm not meeting someone in Walmart and just giving them a big hug.
Right.
That would be creepy and probably frowned upon. However,
long time no
is,
see. I haven't seen you since you needed. See you since you needed bread.
Or
What?
We had that counselor that showed up on Friday with the free hugs T-shirt.
No.
You know, I think I need. You know, but really, we're in this place. I think in culture where.
Yeah.
You know, we've realized the importance of physical contact for our sanity, for that real human connection. That there's just something about, even if it's just a friendly embrace, but there's just something here that says we know each other, we belong together, we're connected.
Yeah.
That I think we just really underestimated the value of it. And I just long for that to be. That's one of the things I do hope gets back to normal quickly. Just the interaction.
Yeah. Same here. I miss that.
There's been some good things though.
There has been a lot of really good things.
We have been able to connect with people in a way that we never were able to really capture before. We even our shut-ins, you know, who like their church experience has been, watching the local cable access show, maybe the Catch and Search of the Lord's Way out of Edmond, on a Sunday morning, and that's kind of been their way of connecting to church. And so having this live stream and being able to go into those, nursing homes and saying, okay, all you have to do is get up on Sunday morning and touch this button. I've already set up your bookmark. Click here and click here, and you'll be able to see your home church. And being able to speak into their lives and connect with them that way has been, man, that's something we need to do a long time ago.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because it's like, I'm so happy and glad that we did it, but shame on us for waiting so long and not doing that. Because hearing your exactly what you said right there, I go, man, that would suck. Like, that's so like sad. And man, shame on us for not jumping on that sooner. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm so glad that we do some live streaming stuff. I'm glad that I hope like a lot of churches don't go back, because I love being able to hear more churches throughout the week. Like I am a like 90% busy worker. So like I have to have, that's not even the right phrase, but anyway, I have to have background noise. And now that everyone live streams, man, I can get like sermons going all the time, and I can just kind of hear, and then I hear like a good point, and I'm like, oh, that's good. I like that was a great point. Back to work, kind of a thing. And so it's been really cool for me. I listen to, basically, if you're my friend and you do a live stream, I probably have listened to your church this sermon, at
cool.
some point.
And it gives us that exposure to so many other areas of the kingdom. Whereas, like you said, we've typically been captive to our home place.
Yeah.
And this really gives us the tools to explore. Like I have told people, I was like, look, you need to be hearing someone teach that's not named me.
Right.
Like I am honored to be your preacher, your minister, your guy. But if you aren't getting other voices, if you aren't getting other places where you are hearing the truth of God's word poured into your life, I mean, I like my perspective, and I think it's a pretty good perspective. But you need some balance. You need a counter voice that's going to come in, because you're going to bring other things to the table, and you're going to then ask me questions that are going to make me deepen my understanding of who God is and what He wants us to be. So, it's given us the tools to do that we didn't have before. We have reached some people that we would not have reached before. It's been really interesting to see there's a guy who calls me from Slidell every once in a while, just to chat, and when he has questions, and he found us off of our live stream. And he's a Christian, and he has a church home there, but it's a smaller church, and they don't really have elders in place there.
Yeah. And
the conversations that we've had that came from things that started because of the pandemic. And that's just been really cool to see the way our footprint as a whole, as a kingdom, has kind of come out. I
like some of the marketing stuff that's come out. Like I hate, oh man, it makes me sick sometimes, like what I say, like, but I love some of the marketing stuff that has come out, right? Like I hate masks, but at the same time, I kind of like that I can have another way of like showing my church, or showing like, a mini series or a youth series or something that's going on because of the mask that I get to wear, or
you're wearing a billboard,
or that I have. You get to wear that extra billboard. Like with Sunday Cool, which is like my favorite t-shirt company in the entire world. Shout out to Sunday Cool. Love you guys. When they were like, yeah, we do custom masks, I was like, I'm in. Let's do it. I'm gonna order me some Sunday Cool masks. And I did. And they were so quick and they were so fast, and I loved it. And the best part about it is that I wore it on Sunday, and it had our awesome church logo on it. And everyone was like, yo, hook me up.
Hook me up.
you got one of them church masks? I had like teenagers who were like, yo, can I get one of them church masks? That's cool. And they would wear them to school. Like I was able to, like, they would take pictures, and I'd be like, oh, they're wearing their church mask. Like, they won't wear a youth group shirt, but they're wearing a church mask. So like, shout out to like Sunday Cool and those guys doing that. Man, I love that company. They're so great. And it's so cool to like see things like that happen, and to be able to like do those like in a financially cheaper way, so that you could do like a sermon series that's coming up, or like a question, or something that kind of ties into what you're doing for the quarter, and that kind of stuff. So super cool. That's one of the things that, like, one of those good things that was going on for us.
And there was something else I had in mind here that
I have one that is like super opinionated that I can't wait to bring up. Oh no,
go ahead.
Okay.
I've lost mine.
I think we actually differ on this opinion. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I'm nervous. I prefer, and I like it better, the way we're doing communion now. I as a solo episode about this, I do. I like the portable communion cups better than passing trays and breaking that bread in the middle. And I'll say this, for me, I focus more. I'm less worried about passing a tray. I'm less worried about the people getting volunteers or people. The biggest one I hear is oh, well, that's a good way to get people involved and to serve. And I guess in my opinion, like if that's where you're like, hey, this is how I serve God, we're thinking too small. Like you're thinking way too small. But anyway, so I prefer it. I feel like we get to sing one more song. You can have a little bit more in the sermon.
Oh, you had a song? I just had 5 minutes to my sermon. So
the devotional that people have been given, like it's okay if they go a little bit long because, hey, like this last Sunday, the guy's devotional went a little bit longer, but it was okay because he just said, hey, I'm gonna say one prayer, and I'm gonna bless the fruit and the bread at the same time. And so he gave his devotional talk and he said that prayer, and then wham bam, and it was good and it was very meaningful to me. And I didn't have. I guess maybe I get distracted by clinking trays. I get distracted because somebody's gonna drop something.
You don't get distracted by noisy rappers,
but I don't get distracted by. I don't actually because I'm doing it at the same time.
Yeah,
actually, I'm a pre-terror.
Okay, I got you. So you're already during the meditation. You're preparing your communion, so you're not getting the meditation, right?
No, actually, when I first sit down in the pew, I tear it so that I can just get the bread right away.
That's brave with Sam around.
It is because he'll eat it.
What I do like about our current model is when we are intentional about it, and I really have to get with my guys who are leading the communion to say, hey, give us some space after.
Give me some space
after the bread. Just give some time, before to kind of meditate on that. And I'm glad my guy Todd Bell is with me here on Instagram.
And he hears you.
He hears me. That's right. It is good to be heard.
Nobody hears me. On my lonely island out here.
So I do like that aspect of it. That because we say the prayer, and then everyone kind of takes it all at once. But the temptation is just to go boom. Let's go right to the next prayer. But we've had a lot of guys that have been really intentional about kind of stepping back and giving that space to really sit and meditate over the moment.
Yeah.
And so that's really good. But ultimately, what I like about communion, what I like about passing communion, is
all the germs.
All of the germs. Like I want them all.
Give one cupper. Josh is a one cupper. Everybody.
So there's the community aspect of here we are, we're around the table, and we are. It kind of just reminds me of being at home, like when kind of the food's being passed around the table, when we would have all of our family. It's like, all right, you take a roll and you pass it down, and so that's what I really like about.
That's interesting.
The other aspect of this, but
it's interesting because I feel like I'm an all or in kind of a guy. So like, I guess this has always been okay. We're doing it. This is where like I have always struggled with communion. Is like we're like 9 times out of 10. Okay, no, that's a bad one. 7 times out of 10, we're reading the passage where Jesus initiates or starts the Lord's Supper, right? And he's like, and Jesus ripped the bread and he passed it around the table, and then we're like, okay, and here's your unsalted saltine that you can break off the world's smallest little corner of, and put it on the tip of your tongue and be like, I'm satisfied. And so like I can't make that connection. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, why at least give me like a full tortilla that I can then rip in half and share with my family. Like that's unleavened bread. And then I'm actually doing what Jesus is doing, and I'm ripping it in half and I'm sharing it with my family unit, or those around me who are comfortable with that. Like to me, like that's more like it, and then they're like, and then take the world's best and holiest grape juice, which is in this tiny little cup, and get just a little sip of it, Whereas the disciples and Jesus had like a cup, and they drank out of it, and then they drank out of it like the whole time.
Right.
So for me, so this is 1000% personal, audience. Okay. For me, it never resonated with me that, hey, we are so strict of wanting to do it like how the Bible says it, except for communion, because this is out of convenience that we do it the way we do it. So in that same mindset for me, doing it out of the porta cups, that's a terrible name, porta cups. Doing it out of the porta cups just to me, didn't make any less significant as far as a connection to what Jesus was doing. But it gets the job done. I mean, it's unleavened bread, it's grape juice, and then I can connect with that. So that's just my personal feeling. There's a lot of people who feel a lot differently, and that's okay to be wrong. But no, I'm just kidding.
I love it.
I don't think there's a right or a wrong, personally.
No, and I think you're right. One of the things I do like is it has brought us the ability to think differently about something that is very, very important to us.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we've been forced to make a change, and that change has now opened our minds to at least think, okay, guess what? We made a huge change in the way we do things.
Right.
And not only did the world not fall apart, but that is still a very important part and a central focus of our worship, even though it's not the way we were accustomed to doing things. And I think that is an indication of a huge step that the church has taken forward in being able to perceive things.
I agree.
There's some comments and things coming up on Facebook that for some reason aren't populating on my StreamYard place here. Come on.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I was like, man, it's awful quiet today for something so.
I know, right?
For something so hot topic.
Hot topic, right? The good and the bad.
That's right.
Of COVID. Some young people do get their start. That's kind of their first foray into helping out with services. I've tried to get my kids, involved with like scripture reading. I'll find a short psalm for them to read, and to do something that they can just get up and read and do to kind of help offset some of those things, because they don't necessarily have that ability to help with the passing of the plates and things. I got my young kids involved just recently in helping visitors who are coming in find a seat, because that's kind of, if they're coming in right after worship starts, our auditorium is pretty full right now with the social distancing in place. And so I have some of our young guys coming in, finding a seat, and directing our visitors to that seat, so they're not wandering up the aisles looking for open places. And so we've come up with some new ways for them to serve. But there have been some really good things that have come about. Another thing that's been really positive through all this is our people have become better at checking on one another.
Yeah.
I've gotten more phone calls from random members just saying, hey, man, how are you doing? Everything going okay? Can I help with somebody? And so it's created this need for us to really be intentional about checking up on one another, and that's been super, super positive. I really appreciated that. Anything else?
No, not really. No, not really. I'm done. I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for coming out today. No, yeah, I don't know.
Well, we got to get to the last question.
We got to get to the last question. That's right. And I don't need to. I'm still stuck on the communion thing.
I know. So, I'm getting you off the communion thing.
I'm fixated. It's not okay.
I mean,
well, calm down. It's
not a rant.
Always
bad. A rant's not always bad.
That's true. I don't know. I think there's lots of ways that you could get young people to serve. I mean, you could pick up communion card or pick up connection cards. You could
go around and pick up all that communion trash that people.
You can have them help serve. Yeah, actually. So we were joking about that in our staff meeting on Monday. We were kind of talking about this a little bit about should we go back or should we not? And I said, we did make that joke. I said, you know what a great service opportunity is for people to stay after an event and help pick up chairs and put away stuff instead of just getting in their car and driving home. That is a rant. But yeah, I mean, like put on gloves and go in and help picking up communion trash. That'd be great. Or Hey, you don't have to pass your tray, but we prefer if you carried a trash can down the aisle to, help pick up.
What are the
So-
gloves for?
Because you don't want to touch somebody's where they've connected their lip to a cup.
Man, we're living in a snowflake society, Aaron. Snowflake.
That's right, man. That's
Hey,
right.
what do you want to see come back? Now that things are kind of starting to move in a direction of normalcy. Quotes here.
This kind of goes with that whole idea of like I'm tired of social distancing, but like I want to be able to have like an intimate devotional again. Being able to sit closer and to be able to kind of do those kind of things. Like I want those to come back. Like I'm excited for that. I am excited. I'm with you 100%. I'm excited for Wednesday night church. Like I've always loved Wednesday night church. It has always been something that I have cherished. And I like it. I hope that lock-ins never come back as well, Jonathan. I hate lock-ins. But actually, I think we're going to try to do one this summer. I never do a summer lock-in, but I think we're going to do one because Space Jam is coming out. It's
That's
kind of
right.
important.
Hey, I'm really excited to see communion return to normal.
Ah.
I'm just kidding. I could honestly, I could take it or leave it. Like I said before, I'm happy to see some things in our minds that have changed some. The one thing I was really glad to see kind of go was church potlucks.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not a potluck fan. But you know what I've really missed?
Church potlucks?
Church potlucks.
Yeah, right?
I really have. We're talking about with our next bilingual service in June of bringing back that potluck, because there are moments in that setting where you get to sit and talk and converse with people that you just don't get to catch on a regular basis.
Oh, sure.
And so there's a different level of communion, really, around that setting. So
Communion. Thanks.
yeah, you're communing.
Just keep trying to bring that in, that dagger.
No, and that was I didn't mean for that to be a dagger, Aaron. If I show you
Aaron.
my daggers before I throw them at you.
It's true. They're in our notes over here.
That's right. I miss that. I miss that fellowship. I miss that time where our mornings are extended, our together time is extended, and we're there. So
I have never thought it was weird for people to like just bring your own meal to a potluck. Like if you're a picky eater,
oh right,
and you just like go to McDonald's or you go to fast food and then you just come to the potluck and you just eat your food. Like I've seen some people get like shamed, and I'm like, why? Like that's fine. Like that's great. The whole point is that we're just eating together, and yeah. Can I have some of your tots, Josh?
that's right. Or where was that? How did I miss that? It's like this.
Yeah,
is
that's
Cane's,
it.
You know?
That's how you missed it.
Yeah. Bible classes. I've really been excited to see our Bible classes begin to come back. We don't have them all kind of back in the way they were. We have a big group that meets in the auditorium. Mm-hmm. Our young adults have kind of started to meet again, and I'm really excited to see those coming back.
Yeah, when I started here at Pine Tree, we had just started doing Bible classes again, and man, last week it felt good. I had a huge crowd for Bible class for high school, and so that was a lot of fun. So I'm glad that those are starting to repopulate. For a job that is so based upon building relationships and hanging out with people, like COVID made it really hard to build relationships and hang out with people.
Yeah, it really did.
And so I'm excited for there to be more of that relaxing feeling coming back to where it's not so abnormal to like go hang out. And I like being able to hang out inside because I don't like the heat, and we're coming up on summer. So these outdoor classes,
the birds in the south.
That makes a fat man sweat, and nobody needs to see me get that sweaty. So
hey, and the last thing I have that I'm really glad is coming back, which you may say it is not church related, but it is church related because we do have a campus ministry, and one of the main staples in our campus ministry is tailgating.
There it is.
We were actually able to really capture so many opportunities to meet and reach people.
That's cool.
As they would kind of walk by, that place.
That's a big part of food in ministry. Like, how many times does Jesus go and eat at somebody's house?
Right.
I mean, that's a big part of it. How many times does Jesus feed people? We got to eat, and college kids got to eat. And, when you offer food or prepare food, people show up.
You got a behind the beards moment?
I think the behind the beards moment for me is don't worry about communion. So no, I'm just kidding. I think the behind the beards moment is I think that there's a lot of things that we were able to do during COVID because we had to adapt, we had to change. And so we weren't as afraid to try new things or do things differently or start new ministries or find somebody to do this who we don't normally seek, like that whole 10% of the people are doing 90% of the work kind of an idea. And so for me, the behind the beards moment is, man, we have got to keep that going. We need to continue to adapt and change and do new ministries that are still Bible centered, that are still Jesus focused, but adapting to the times and doing things differently while staying true to our purpose, is really great. So for me, a lot of the things that, even though I hated Zoom, it was really nice that we tried it and that we did it, for a little bit. Right. And out of that came, hey, well, maybe I can live stream to a private group or Instagram. So if somebody can't come, I've had teenagers who said, well, I would love to come, but my mom can't take me, oh, well, if I live stream it, would you show up to the live stream? Sure. Yeah, I would. Okay. So maybe I'll live stream my class as well, and so that kind of came out of there for me. And so if you are a member, if you are an elder or you're a shepherd, just get involved in that kind of a sense. Don't create more work for your pastors, because we're actually going to do an episode coming up talking about pastoral depression, which has been a real thing. And we actually have more preachers and youth ministers who are leaving ministry than entering at this moment. They just did a recent study, and because of COVID and other things like that, there are more ministers leaving ministry than we have people coming into ministry. So there's going to be a drought, coming up. And it's because it's difficult and it's hard. And, that's part of the purpose of this show, is we just try to reveal some extra things about ministry that you might not think about on a normal basis. But that's kind of my behind the beards moment is that attitude of adapting and changing and moving forward, and the willingness to try things. Just because we do it doesn't mean that we're going to do it all the time. Right. I think is a wonderful and a great kind of a mindset.
Yeah. And I'd say, it is so easy to get wrapped up in the things that failed, the things that flopped, and the things that we never want to see come back. The encouragement to find the good, to find those things that you can really capitalize on, and find out the things that went well.
Well, I think sometimes we can have that. We can have a really negative mindset. I was just thinking about this. I love it when in the Bible when it says, and the 11 disciples, except for the one, if you were negative, you'd go, well, we shouldn't disciple people because this guy betrayed Jesus. Yeah. Instead of going, yeah, but the other 11 went on to do amazing things. And then there was another 12.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can always find that negative in that.
Yeah. Learn from the negative, capitalize on the good, focus on it, and go from there.
Absolutely. We want to thank you guys for being here today. We also want to remind you of something that's dear to our hearts. We want to remind you of Galatians 6:9. Don't grow weary in doing good. This world is messy. Life is messy. So allow Christ to use you to do something different, something good in his name. I'm Aaron, and this is Josh, and we will see you next week on Behind the Beards.
Till we're all growing a beard. A man's face should never be bare. We just want some facial hair. We're anticipating, yeah, everyone's waiting for beer.